I'd like to call the order of the regular meeting of the Zion Park District to order. Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Here.
Commissioner Brown,
Here.
President Hartman,
Here. Could I ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting dated 16 March.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the Personnel and Finance Subcommittee meeting and the meeting of the Board of Commissioners for the Zion Park District dated 16 March 2023.
Have a second?
Second.
All right. Christine, please read the roll call.
President Hartman,
Here. Or aye.
oh, okay. Commissioner Rivers, Commissioner Magera, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Pye.
Aye.
All right. I'd like to welcome the guest. Do you have anything you'd like to say, ma'am, or you're just here to observe? Okay. Well, thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. All right. Next, I'd like to entertain a motion. We approved the agenda. There's no...
We'll strike the executive session.
Okay, no executive session. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as stated.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye. Okay, commissioners' comments. First, I know this is going to be a sad day. I know for me and the commissioners in the Park District. Unfortunately, this is the last day for Commissioner Brown. I honestly never thought this was going to happen. I know he's got a lot of stuff going on right now with his grandkids and his family, and I totally respect that. Rick is like a monument in this town. He not only did he work on the police department for quite a while, he supported the Park District, brought a lot of knowledge to the park board when we were in the middle of approving different projects going on. Rick brought some history to the table that was very helpful, and you know, like I said, I've known Rick for 12 years, and became very close friends. Again, I'm gonna miss him. He's a great guy. He's a great contributor, and not only did he support the community of Zion, but he also supported this great nation, and that right there is an accomplishment. So even though he is Army and I'm Navy, I still love him. And Rick, I'm going to miss you, buddy.
Miss you guys too.
You brought a lot to the table. You know, a lot of projects got approved because of what Rick brought as far as background to the particular project. And can't ask for anything better than that. So, Rick, thanks, man. Thanks for everything.
Yeah.
So anybody else?
I about the same. I know Rick for 12 years. So I am there for 12 years. Great guy. I will miss you.
You too, Jess. See you around
Yeah.
town.
Yeah.
And I know that Cheryl and Carolyn both share their same sentiments. So you're going to be missed, Rick. The other thing is myself and Jesse attended the Easter hunt event, and I was totally amazed on the support and the participation that happened that day. And not to mention the staff. Kay did a phenomenal job with all the age groups and everything that was going on that day. And again, you know, it doesn't surprise me because every event that this park district does is second to none. And like I said, I've went out and credited a lot of park districts in the state of Illinois, and this park district, hand down, is top of the list. There, you guys are the best, and you prove it every event we have. So thank Kay for her outstanding support and her great job that day. All right.
Yep, definitely.
All right. Any other commissioners? Okay. All right. Anything from the attorneys?
Nope.
All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the unpaid bills.
I make a motion that we approve the expenditures of the month of March 2023 in the amount of $400,289.39.
I have a second.
Second.
All right. I have a second. Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye. All right. Executive report.
Yep, so when I started writing my report, you know, the first thing that came to my mind too was to write about Rick, right? So that's the first paragraph in my report, and I think, you know, Bill and Jesse did an awesome job in really expressing everyone's appreciation and gratitude, Rick, for all the time that you spent on the park board, all the dedication. You know, honestly, to me too, it was all the insightful commentary that you brought to the meetings, right? Challenging, you know, asking good questions to people like Kamosi, some of the designers that would come in, you know, asking a lot of good questions, clarifying things for the park district, making sure that the contracts that are in place are in the best interest of the park district, you know, looking at some grant designs. I remember when you talked about the David Park grant and said, you know, guys, I think we need to rethink this parking lot here with the double exits, you know. So, I mean, that kind of commentary and that kind of insight and thoughtfulness is really going to be missed, and has really been valuable over the years. So, I mean, you know, we appreciate all your support and we appreciate all your service to the park district. I know we'll see you around, right? We'll see you at events and things like that. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, just wanted to say thank you. There are a couple board member opportunities coming up. There's an IAPD boot camp, which is the Illinois Association of Park Districts, and an Illinois Association of Park Districts legislative conference. I know Bill and Jesse are signed up for the legislative conference. That honestly offers a great opportunity for, you know, us to go down to Springfield and kind of make our voice known in Springfield and meet with some of the legislators down there. We'll definitely meet with Representative Joyce Mason and Senator Mary Edley Allen, who have been very supportive of us. But just also kind of go down and advocate for the park district and the industry. So that will be a 2-day event on May 2nd and May 3rd. The other one that's coming up at the end of May is the IAPD board member boot camp. That's going to be held at Viking Park in Gurnee. You know, really provides an excellent learning opportunity for the board members to really understand their roles and responsibilities, you know, conducted by attorneys that advise park districts, and it really helps increase the, you know, cohesiveness and the effectiveness of the board. So again, any commissioner that, you know, wants to be part of those events, happy to coordinate that registration, and we'll definitely reach out and follow up with Carolyn and Cheryl. You know, as I know they're both sick tonight, so but I'll see if they want to be, you know, a part of that.
It's a good review too for people that have been on the board for quite a while, because it kind of opens your eyes up on different new things coming down the line, and you know, do things subconsciously that you don't realize you're doing. And
Yeah.
you know, it takes to go one of these boot camps and to really figure out the whole job of a commissioner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You know, and Bill mentioned it too. I was going to mention the Easter egg hunt. You know, he had a good, successful event there. Had decent weather for it always kind of being a challenging time of the year. We never know if that's going to be held in the snow or, you know, held with some sunshine, but had, you know, almost 400 participants come out. A nice free event for the community, and they definitely came out and took advantage of that. So happy to be able to run that. We do have an Earth Day event coming up at the end of the month, which is on a Saturday. I think it's not this Saturday, but next. So that's again an opportunity for the park board to kind of come out and support Earth Day. We'll plant some trees out there. Also wanted to point out an email that's toward the back of the packet from the ZBTHS track team. They had reached out to us a few months ago about getting some space here at the park district so they could practice, right? I know that ZBTHS has a ton of facilities, but they also have a ton of activities going on too, between baseball and basketball and their own track and everything that they've got. So they reached out to us and asked them if we could help out with some space for their track teams to kind of just get going while the weather was poor. And Kay facilitated that with the athletic director and the track coach. And they sent a nice email just really thanking us for the partnership, helping them get a good start on their season, making the space for us. Obviously, Lance, who kind of coordinates downstairs as well, had to move some things around and, do a little crowd control at times. But for the most part, we're happy to be able to support the high school. And I think that's what, the municipalities, should do in this town, right, is have good partnerships. And so we're glad to have those good relationships and be able to help each other out. Also in my report, I wanted to point out, just kind of provide a follow-up on the Kobe 18 autonomous floor scrubber that the board approved. I believe that was in, sometime midwinter, like November or so. So that was really our first attempt at really kind of automation, right? We were talking about more efficient ways and, just kind of thinking out of the box on how we can, both maintain the facilities, keep facilities clean, utilize technology, solve this labor shortage that we have. We found this Colby 18 autonomous floor scrubber. The board was, I think, supportive enough and always appreciate their willingness to kind of say, okay, we trust, guys go out and try this. So I wanted to provide the follow-up on that. Really glad to see Jimmy Barber here today. Jimmy's a member of our maintenance team, and Jimmy has taken that Colby 18 and really maximized it for the park district, right? Like, without Jimmy, I don't know if we would have gotten the value out of it that we were hoping for, right? So when you get these kind of tools and this kind of technology, it's only as good as however you implement it, right, and however you use it, right? And Jimmy has done an awesome job of really utilizing it to its full value for us. I mean, it's running every day. He's able to, run it, find other things to do, and really understand how the machine works. Ask questions about it. Works with their customer service support team. So he's done an awesome job, honestly, of implementing and getting good value of that investment for the park district. And it was kind of cool too, because their team reached out to us, which I have later on in the report here too, and they wrote up like a case study on the park district. I don't know if you saw that. And so Jimmy and I sat down with them and they interviewed us and talked about, hey, can you tell us how you use it, what you like and don't like and everything? Because primarily this machine was used in hospitals, right? And so we were really the first people that kind of implemented it in a park district, so they were curious about our experience. So this case study that they put together, it's kind of a neat, little marketing tool that they're going to share too. Jimmy took some pictures for it and sent it into them. Did a good job capturing the park district logo in a couple spots for our own little extra marketing, but just kind of a neat little case study that Ice Cobotics marketing team put together and used us. But yeah, like I said, Jimmy, we added Jimmy to our maintenance staff in November?
December was full-time.
December. Full-time in December, and he's been awesome, so. Operating that machinery is just one of the many things that he does. He gets a lot done. Other than that, I wanted to mention too that we did get the Shiloh Park Playground DCEO grant, right?
Good.
So that was through the efforts of Joyce Mason, something that Maryland initiated, probably 2 years ago, honestly, right? And we've constantly been waiting. when are we gonna get this money? I mean, it wasn't really any kind of like grant submission that we put in. It was just really, honestly, Joyce Mason, advocating for us in Springfield and saying, hey, when DCEO is creating this budget, I'd like to get 400,000 in there for Zion Park District, and so it happened, and we were notified a couple weeks ago, and since that time, we've been working on the forms to actually officially get the money. But it'll be nice to be able to pair that money with the OSLAD money, right? So now we're putting the OSLAD money into the courts, and now we'll be able to kind of simultaneously develop the playground to make a really cool statement out there. And hopefully all goes well, and that should be done honestly by Halloween, early November. That's the hope, right? If we can stay on this project timeline, that's the hope.
That would be good.
It'd be really cool. Yeah, it would be really cool.
Knock that off the bucket list.
Yes.
Get that done.
Yeah. So that's all for my report.
All right. Good report. Thanks, Eric.
I have a question
Uh-huh.
for him.
For Jimmy? Yeah.
Jimmy, how long does that machine clean?
How long does it clean, like, on one charge?
Yeah, no, clean the two basketball courts.
How much time does it take?
Yeah.
So I separate each court into two, and it takes 30 minutes for one, 30 minutes for the other. And then I can finish a third one before the battery runs out. So I can do 3 courts in an hour and a half,
Wow.
How long
That's
does
pretty
it
good.
charge?
3 hours. So I can get all 3 courts done, have it charge over lunch, well, before lunch, and then when I come back from lunch, I can run it again.
And it's all done by remote?
Yeah, computer.
Nice.
You map it out, you train it, and then it does it by itself.
Man,
I don't have to stand there with a remote control or anything.
that'll
Yeah.
work.
He's got it programmed it to kind of like basically GPS our facility and the floors and then run it, fill it in. Yeah.
No, he doesn't take a 3-hour lunch.
Takes an hour and a half to do those.
Rides the machine while he's taking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's too bad they didn't have that for kids. I like that programming part.
Yeah.
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 All right. Anybody else have anything? All right, next on the list, we're going to go ahead and review and approve the final budget for 2023 and 2024.
Yep. So I've printed out our final budget book here, inclusive of everything, including, the changes to fees and charges that we've discussed. Obviously, we've had our budget meetings over the last, I think, 6 weeks or so, and kind of chunked this out and gone through it. The numbers that you see in here, right? So when we look at the columns, is the first column is the recommended budget for the upcoming fiscal year. And then the middle column is the budget that we're operating on now. And then that final column is the numbers through 3/31. So that's just kind of the latest and greatest data.
Okay.
Obviously, we'll update this one last time with the actuals, but our budgets are not going to change. So what we're doing here now is kind of approving the final budget numbers to lock those in. We'll come back once we've got the year-end numbers done and
And then-
update the year-end numbers.
Okay. And there really shouldn't be much of a difference between what's on here.
No,
And
the
then-
budget won't change at all. So, the budget that we prepare, right, like the process is kind of difficult because we prepare the levy based on an estimate from November, right? So
Right.
we're working with like an estimated EAV, which is really what drives the property tax levies and the rates and everything like that. So good news is, that was extremely accurate. So we didn't have to change any property tax revenue amounts from what we discussed over the last 3-4 months, right? So our tax levy yielded a almost 5% decrease in the district's tax rate, so 4.9% decrease in our tax rate, with our total tax rate now being below 1 at 0.9586, right? So, that's our lowest tax rate in 10 years, right, for the district, and we'll continue to prepare budgets that are fiscally responsible, right, and sensitive to the property tax amounts that residents pay. We understand, that people in Zion, are very sensitive about their property taxes and that rates are high, given other towns in Lake County. So we definitely try to be thoughtful. Again, I'm proud of, the budget that we operate on and the full-time staff that we have, given that, right, we're managing over 750 acres of parkland, various parks and facilities, and we try to do that in a fiscally responsible manner, right? So, we remain financially stable due to really focus on strategic, like data-driven decision-making, along with management's really commitment to fiscal responsibility, and obviously with the full, insight of the board and your feedback as well, right?
Yeah, again, with people that have set budgets up before, it's a headache. Especially really when you don't have a concrete number to go with. So you gotta like throw that dart against the wall and say, well, I wonder if it's gonna be this. Well, let's go off this rate.
Yeah.
So my hat's off to everybody that's been involved with this. It's a great thing. Eric, you nailed it. 700 acres of park, been around the state, and the number of personnel that you have compared to the acreage is not even close to some of these park districts that I've been to. So again, that's a tribute to the staff that you have, the amount of work they do, and amount of work that's really not in their job description, but they're willing to take it on anyway. So it's a tribute to this park district, and really the people of Zion should really be happy for this park district, because they do have the best of the best. And I'll stick to that. And it took me to get on these accreditation boards to actually open my eyes and see the real picture. So my hat's off to everybody here, and you
thanks.
guys do a
Appreciate it.
phenomenal job every day.
Thanks.
Anybody else have anything?
I just want to point out the only change we have in the budget, no changes to revenues or any of the governmental funds, within the golf course fund, and I think Bill, I had brought this up to you the other day. There is one individual that works out at Shepherd's Crook. He's a part-time employee on the golf maintenance team. Can you get my chair, please? He's a part-time employee on the golf maintenance team. He's with them year-round, and Charlie would like to bring that individual on full-time because he's incredibly valuable to the team. He's currently working at 2 courses, and we really would like to lock him in and get him fully committed to Shepherd's Crook. So this budget has it's really a reclassification between the full-time and part-time wages, because he was budgeted in the part-time and he's working over 2,000 hours for us annually anyways. So it's really to kind of budget him up in the full-time wages, and then also increase health insurance amount. He's a single individual, so that health insurance expense is about $10,000. So that again is 100% in Shepherd's Crook. Shepherd's Crook is 100% funded by its own operating revenues. Yep. No tax money goes into it. And Charlie really does have a limited crew out there, so for him to be able to add this individual would be very helpful.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's really the only change.
And I live pretty much a stone throw away from Shepherd's, and I don't think I've ever driven by there and there's been no cars in the lot. I mean, the place is packed every time I drive by there. And that's a tribute to the guys up there and the work they do.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Jess.
What would be the difference?
I'm sorry?
What would be the difference?
The difference in Shepherd's Crook would be like its operating income is effectively reduced by probably, so the $10,000 for his insurance. I think I budgeted a little bit more for like him working some overtime, maybe a couple thousand. So you're talking about probably about a $12,000 additional expense in Shepherd's, right? Because he was already in there because he's already working.
Yeah,
about
He's
$2,000.
part-time.
Yeah.
So we already had him budgeted.
That is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, and because he's working those many hours, he was already in IMRF with us, so
Yeah.
he's been enrolled. So that's
And we want
no
to keep
change
them.
there.
Yeah,
You know.
we want to keep them.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Will he look for another part-timer to fill that
Yeah.
role?
Probably, yeah. I think he would, for
Yeah,
sure.
good.
You know, and we can either utilize that person either just at Shepherd's or
And
bounce
Shiloh.
in Shepherd's and Shiloh. So
Yeah.
anytime we can find anyone good, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? Anything else? All right. I'll go ahead and entertain a motion that we approve, or actually, kind of
Adopt, approve.
adopt, approve
Yeah.
the budgets for the fiscal years of 2023 and 2024.
I make a motion that we approve the operating budget for fiscal year 2023 and 2024 as presented.
I have a second. I have a second. Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
President Hartman?
Aye. Okay, the next one is the quota for the purchase of the Toro.
Yeah, so the Toro Dingo, which we talked about initially last meeting, we talked about it a little bit. Adam Schroeder has since, and even before that meeting, you know, Adam's our mechanic, been trying to find a good used option, right? We just could not find a used piece of equipment for this that was worth buying. Adam's really been out searching, so eventually he was able to source a new one from Highway C Services in Wilmot. The Toro Dingo, I've got the one-page sort of description in there. I think it's like PDF page 50. If you're around page 50 in the board packet, that is the one that, you know, really Rich feels like would be most beneficial to his crew. He wants the one with the tires and not the tracks. To be honest, he could probably add a little bit here as far as how he'll use it in his operation.
Yeah, so the reason why we're going after the tire versus track, so we want to be able to utilize it on our sidewalks for snow removal. Track machine will just tear everything up.
Right.
A lot of ruts, you know, tear things up. Plus, it doesn't inhibit any of the attachments we can use versus track or this. It's just, you can't just get into real muddy, boggy situations with it. So we'll still be able to use it just like a track machine, just, you know, the terrain's a little different. We are looking for we're gonna have the broom attachment with it, which will be for snow removal.
Okay, good.
exclusively. So just to give you an idea, like this sidewalk here, it takes 2 to 3 guys 45 minutes to an hour plus to do just the sidewalk. This you'll probably do in about 20 minutes, one man. Bare. So,
Not too shabby.
yeah,
Do that new math, right?
yeah.
So
Super.
this piece of equipment at Highway C is already pre-bid through the Sourcewell Intergovernmental Cooperative. So we can be confident that when we're buying it from them that we are getting the best price. In fact, when they quoted us initially, we went back and asked them, hey, is this our price under the Sourcewell quote? And then they came back and lowered it a couple thousand. They're like, oh no, we didn't think about that. But you know, your Sourcewell joint purchasing agreement gets you a couple thousand off it. So
And
So-
we do a lot of business with Highway C, with our turf equipment as is.
Okay.
So the total price as quoted here on the sales quote from Highway C is $39,234 for the Toro Dingo 323.
I got a couple of questions.
Mm-hmm.
I see one picture of someone standing there, another one sitting.
Yeah, this is a stand-on machine.
They're all standing.
Yeah, they're all standing.
They're all standing, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You have another question, Jess?
If you want a
Okay.
seat on it, we can modify a seat on it for you and you can, you know, take it for a spin.
You can use it.
Yeah.
Man, you should see his hot rod.
I'm saying it.
I
You got this
thought
new one.
they
Yeah.
would sit there.
Okay,
Okay,
all
His
right.
appeared is blown up.
Yeah.
He's not sitting, he's standing.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope.
All right, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion that we approve the quota to purchase the Toro Dingo.
1 second, I just lost the page.
Here you go.
I got it. I make a motion that we approve the quote from Highway C Services for the Toro Dingo 323 and its attachments for a total quoted price of $39,234 even.
I have a second.
Second.
I have a second. Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
President Hartman?
Aye. All right. The scope of services agreement, Eric?
Yeah, so the first one we'll start with is from the Deegan Group. So if you recall, not Gary Deegan himself, but one of his coworkers, Cullen, had come out and given us the environmental results from the site assessment that they did down on Ebenezer. And, at that time, the board expressed interest in continuing to have the Deegan Group involved in the build and the planning and the construction phases of the project to be sure that, it's handled correctly, right, with any, environmental potential contaminants, and that the site is developed in accordance to the plan that Deegan had presented us a few months ago. So what we have to approve in this packet is Deegan's scope of services agreement, really to utilize his consulting services, as we proceed with the maintenance building project. So the quote from the Deegan team I thought was very reasonable. It will not exceed a budgeted amount of $10,000. And, we can stop him at any time if we wanted to, but for his services, it would be $10,000 for his environmental oversight of the project.
And that's important.
Yeah, it is, for sure.
Yeah.
Right, he's done a lot of work out there. He's got a lot of good data and information and reports already created.
Yeah, that get pretty ugly.
Yeah.
Is this a one-year thing? Oh,
It would be for the development of the property.
okay.
Right. For him to be involved in it. I'm sure he'll bill us hourly, right? And he's saying not to exceed hourly total billings of $10,000.
Okay.
That's how he's billed us in the past for the hours that he puts in.
Oh,
Okay. All right, anybody else have anything?
How do you make the motion on that?
I think
Well-
you can probably read it right off the agenda
Yeah, we just read it right off the.
and like a not to exceed 10,000.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the scope services agreement with Deegan Group.
Yep.
I make a motion that we approve the services agreement with the Deegan Group to provide environmental consulting assistance during the development of our Ebenezer Avenue property, not to exceed $10,000.
second.
I have a second. Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye. All right, now we have the scope services agreement.
Yeah. So I apologize for not getting this in the packet, but I just received it recently. This is the proposal from CUNY Architects. So I printed this up for everyone. So this is in, again, relation to the maintenance building. The CUNY Architects was recommended to us by Camosi Construction and specifically John Bosman. Rich and I met with the partner along with the team at Camosi. So the team from Camosi along with Rich and I met with the partner from CUNY Architects to talk to them about the project of the maintenance building, size, equipment that would go in there, kind of our thoughts of building this in 2 phases, and just what they would bring to the table as far as architectural engineering and design and architecture. We do have, which is good, we have a pre-existing relationship with CUNY Architects, as they have assessed some of our buildings for the structural integrity of some of our buildings, specifically the Hebron Maintenance Garage. So we've worked with them a little bit in the past on structures and engineering. They're a small firm out of Pleasant Prairie, but they're pretty close to us. They're up by like that outlet mall up there, like the Nike factory store in the outlet mall. So, easy for us to have meetings with them and for them to come on site and correspond with Camosi. Additionally, Camosi has a very good working relationship with CUNY, which will kind of just make that whole process of architecture and construction easier when those guys are kind of already on the same sheet of music and have kind of collaborated on other projects. CUNY, as you'll see in their proposal here, they've got a lot of experience in this area. They've done really 36 or about 36, right, oversight projects relating to projects that could be considered like public works types facilities. They've got some nice pictures in there of some of the facilities that they have done the architectural for, which you can see these are large facilities, right? So these guys are very qualified and very good at what they do. And to be honest,
a couple of them.
huh?
I've actually been to a couple of them.
Oh, have you?
The one in Oshkosh, the
Yeah.
municipal building, the public
Yeah.
works building, the parks for Oshkosh, and
Yeah.
the one for Pewaukee, and the one for Elkhorn.
Right, so they do a great job in their architecture, and they're a small firm. I mean, if you continue to look through their proposal, not only do they have the pictures of a lot of different buildings that they prepared, but you see their organization chart on there is, less than 10 people. So, and I was talking with John Bosman about it, knowing how expensive that these architectural services can be, and he was like, honestly, these guys do awesome work, and they're small. If you had a bigger firm, you'd probably be paying more, right? Just they've got more overhead to cover, and so I think there's a lot of good reasons as to why, engaging with CUNY architects to do this, initial design and the architectural work would be beneficial for us. Plus, the contract would allow us to, same as the Camosi contract, at any point we can stop and just say,
That's it.
you've done X amount of work, either we're not continuing or we're not happy with it or whatever it is, we stop, we don't pay them anymore, and we're not obligated to the full price of the contract. So the full price is on the last page, right? So his total proposed fee is $137,099, right? So that's for architectural and engineering design, and the full master plan of the project. Even if we do this in multiple phases, which we will, just because of the cost, they will still draw out the full facility, right? So we know that in phase one, even if we only have the funds to build 5,000 square feet, that the project is built so that, and drawn out, so that we can easily add on to it as we have more funds.
Okay.
So again, I had never really seen architectural services fees proposals, so I was a little surprised at the cost, to be honest, but talked back and forth with John Bosman, talked with Rich about it. We're all very comfortable with these guys and comfortable with our existing relationship and the work they've done in the past. So our recommendation would be to accept this scope of services agreement with CUNY, pending the final approval from our attorneys, Jim Rock.
Okay.
Jim Rock and the folks at Ansel Blink.
So we'll go ahead and make a motion to approve this pending the lawyer's approval.
Approval of the actual contract,
actual
terms
contract.
and conditions and everything.
Okay. All right. Anybody have anything?
Yeah, we're over to 137,000.
Yes.
Yep, 99.
Do we look at anything yet?
This is just their proposal. When we get into the actual contract and start talking about the terms and conditions and what our attorneys would put in on that, so this approval would be pending the attorney's review of the contract, of all the terms and conditions, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve the scope of services agreement with CUNY.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the right word?
Yep.
For the architectural design.
I make a motion that we'll approve the scope of services agreement proposal for CUNY, with CUNY for architectural design fees while waiving the requirements of the Professional Services Selection Act because the district has a satisfactory relationship for services with CUNY architects, and the amount is $137,999.
Second.
And that's with approval from the lawyers.
Pending approval from the lawyers.
Yep,
Okay.
definitely.
All right, I have a second. Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
All right.
President Hartman.
Aye. All right, we saved the best for last.
Brother Will.
So our last order of business is the concession license with Brother Willie. We always go through this concession license at about this point in the year as Willie's getting ready to open up.
Well, my granddaughter gonna be, I'm gonna be out there every day.
Yep,
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
yep.
Okay.
So we have the concession license is included in the board packet here. Again, it gives all the terms and conditions, all the requirements that Willie always meets us as far as providing certificate of liability insurance, getting appropriate Lake County Health Department permits, and the small fee that we charge him quarterly, you know, which is primarily to just kind of cover the utilities and things that he's out there using. But I think this agreement is really a win-win for the park district, for Willie. We appreciate having him out there.
Sure.
He is just out there, you know, talking to the youth. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's been a good experience. And really, I come to say, one of the young men I had do something for me, him and his girlfriend. And I talked to him in going to service. So he went to the military and he jumping out of planes now. And he's coming back this weekend to get married. And I got a license to marry him. I'm a licensed elder to marry him. So that's a good thing that happened by me being in the park.
Yeah,
Keep doing it.
We haven't had many kids the last 2 years, but I'm out there.
yeah.
Good.
So yeah, that's just the kind of
That's
positive
a-
presence that he has.
That's a win-win story there.
Definitely.
Well, we're not gonna start the end of May. Memorial Day usually our starting point, and Labor Day usually our ending point.
Hell, we'll put a recruiting station right outside your office there, and we can just go from you and right in there.
Okay.
They can just pick whatever one they want to go into.
I'm ready.
Well, Willie's great. He's super easy to work with, super reasonable. Our maintenance
Yeah.
staff helps him out as much as we can when we can.
Well, I know we gotta have insurance, and I already got my license, but my food handler's license, so I went called in today. So we ready, but I just know the weather ain't ready, and the
Yeah.
season is not ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
can't control Mother Nature, that's for sure. Well, Willie, like I said, and Eric kind of hit it.
But
It's
you know,
you.
the first year we had trouble out them kids, but all them kids, we really haven't had no trouble the last 5 years. We haven't had no trouble in the park. You remember the year they had the park, all the trouble in the park, the kids, that was crazy. And I guess it's the demon or whatever. They're moving, grown and gone.
Yeah,
Now we really haven't had any kids or really no problems in that park. And so I've been glad to be out there because I know the residents of the community. Every year I get that party for the picnic, for the seniors, they come out and enjoy the park. Because a lot of them locked in the house, can't come out. And the park is the only thing available to them.
Mhm.
So I'm glad I'm there to hear their
yeah, we're
story.
glad you're there too.
He all the gospel, but they got it. What the problem they got, they don't go to township, they go to church, they come to me. So I pen on the wall with the nails. I gotta hear everything.
Well, like I was saying, Willie, we really appreciate everything you do. I know
Yeah.
you've been there for quite a while, and you know it's a tribute to what you do. I mean, you're out there talking to kids. I mean, there's a story right there. You talk to a kid one day, next day he's at the recruiting office.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more of those stories to
That's what
come.
keep me
So,
going. That's what keep me going.
appreciate your help and your time.
Thank you.
It really means a lot. Anybody else? All right, so is there anything we need to approve, or?
Just the concession license
Okay.
with Willie?
All right, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the concessions license with Brother Willie.
So move.
Second.
I have a second. Christine, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye. Okay. Anybody? All right.
That's it.
I will go ahead and entertain a motion that we close the meeting of the Zion Park District for April 20th, 2023.
So moved.
Good. All right, I have a second. Christine, please read the roll call.
I got it.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
President Hartman.
Aye. All right.